What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melvin here for another review, and today we're reviewing the movie Creepshow, which was released back in the 1982 by Warner Brothers, I think. Yeah, this was a great horror film, anthology film, directed by the great late George A. Romero and written by Stephen King. But before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? Did you like this video? If not, what are you waiting for? Before you'll be the next victim in a comic book. And I won't be the one who's telling the story, I'll be the creep, with his more macabre personality. And let's begin! So yeah, Creepshow is based on... Actually, this was a birth child between the... Loved by many of the people who worked on it, including the director, George A. Romero, the author, the writer, Stephen King, known for many great books, including movie adaptations like It, Cujo, Christine, Carrie, including his least favorite, The Shining. He prefers the television version better, which I agree. And also makeup artist. Shit, I forgot his name. Damn, I forgot his name. It was Sullivan? Tom Savini. Makeup artist Tom Savini. If you don't ever heard that name, he worked on many great horror films like in the Friday the 13th films and many others. He also directed some of the episodes for the Creepshow the series in the first season. But here, let's get to the review. The movie takes place around in a decent neighborhood where we find a stepdad berating at his stepson for reading trash, aka horror comic, which... What the hell are you complaining about? You have Playboys under your bed, which you're married to his mom. The boy calls out for that, he gets smacked in the face, calling him a little snitch. Which I kind of find out BS. He takes the comic and throws it outside. Meanwhile, in the bedroom, when the boy's on the bed, he looks out his window, who it is? It ain't the fairy godmother. Oh no, it's the creep. Giving him a grimly smile, begging him for a good story to tell. And fun fact, the creep puppet you see there is not actually, it's actually a real skeleton they got from India. They just made it look more creepier. Add a little bit of special effects. Yeah, it was hoisted with a bunch of rope and some puppeteering. And oh boy, it looks good. And pretend after that, the title card, Creepshow, which is supposed to be an homage to the famed EC comics like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, the great ones, because most of the people who worked here, like George A. Romero, Stephen King, and others, read the EC comics, and hey, this is a perfect homage to this series, the comic book series by this. Our first story is Father's Day, which we have this weird defunct family. It's like everybody's having a little tea party, and they're waiting for the patroness of the family. I forgot her name. I gotta check it out. Aunt Sylvia. And she has a passive history because of the late owner, who was, I think her father, was more of a pestilent. And during every year on the day of his death, she visits his grave because when he was alive, he would always pester her like she was a servant, literally. Always asking, Bedelia, where's my cake? Every time. And he's in a wheelchair. A greedy old bastard in a wheelchair demanding where's his birthday cake. Here's the fucked up part. He had somebody he hired a hitman to kill her fiance so he can keep her as a servant. How fucked up is that when she saw the gunshot wound of her fiance's head? Oh boy, that was from a shotgun. So what did she do? She lost it, grabbed, I believe to be one of those things used for smoking, and bashed him in the head. He dropped dead. Oh boy. We I wouldn't blame her because face it. I wouldn't blame her. Meanwhile, back at the graveyard, she's sitting next to her father's grave, blaming him for everything that he did to her. After that, she finished her bottle of whiskey, and guess what happened? She was about to leave, and boom! Guess who's coming back? Old Daddy Dearest, now a rotting corpse. And here's the funny thing: the actor playing the Nathan zombie. Well, there were actually two because one didn't want to have maggots in their face because literally they use actual maggots for it for the eye, putting the eye sockets. Which hey, they don't. One of them didn't do it, so they had no one to do it. Yeah, you want some maggots in your eyes? After that, he managed to choke out Bedelia until he murdered her. Next, we have back at the mansion. The two couples are still dancing, jamming, while the other matriarch, the other aunt, is sitting there watching, wondering where she go. So she had, I think, the nephew, who was the brother of the wife, went out to see where's Bedelia, and guess what? He found an open grave, tripped over, and found his aunt dead. As he tried to get out, he spots his zombie uncle, and what did he do? He just pushed over a heavy tombstone and crushed him to death. Literally. Does that look familiar from Batman Mask of the Phantasm? With, I forgot the name of this gangster. I forgot his name. Fuck. But anywho, back at the mansion, they all wonder where the hell is everybody because they're now missing two. So the other hand went to the kitchen, looking around, looking for the servant, and guess what? I think that was the aunt, I believe? We'll also have to check. Yeah, it was the servant. She turned around. Hello, Uncle Dear is back and twists her neck. Excuse me. The other two are wondering where did she up. They heard some noises. They heard a strange noise when they got there. Lo and behold, Uncle Dearest finally got his cake in the form of their aunt's head. With the phrase, "It's Father's Day, and I got my cake. Happy Father's Day." Which we get these two dramatic comic style screams. Until we switch back to comic. Hey! Which was actually pretty funny with the mix of the colors of red and blue. Then the next story we have is called The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. Fun fact, the person who plays Jordy Verrill is none other than Stephen King. And guess what he wanted? He wanted to play because Stephen King wanted to play the other guy. Which one? I think maybe the bastard dad, stepdad, but no. They gave him the part of the brainless lumberjack farmer. Because if you see the documentary Sweet Dessert, the member of the cast, when the producers described King as a grown man-child, and he was fun to work with. The only thing he hates is the prosthetics, like with the grass scene. But yeah, takes place. Jordy Verrill, played by Stephen King, in his own abandoned farm. Lo and behold, spotted a meteor hitting the ground. Then he thought, "Whoa, that's a meteor!" Imagine this meteor might worth money because of the size. So he imagined him getting some good money, like almost 50, like 200, getting $200 for it. Well, in the comics, like 1,000. So he poured some water, to cool it off, but the idiot accidentally Guess what happened? The damn meteor split in half. When he saw it's like, Jordy, are you lunkhead? With such redneck voice, damn. We got Steven keep playing the redneck. That's pretty good. The character right there is genius. They imagine again when you bring the split meteor. The scientists saying that it's not even worth $50. After that, he put the meters in the rock, which he got some strange goo meteor juice in his hand, which he's like, meteor shit. Well, you read the comics, it says meteor crap. No, literally. In the movie, he says meteor shit. Not meteor crap. Censors, you know. But anywho, back at he's daydreaming about the marks he had. He started growing some weird green spots, like green grass, from the meteor juice he touched. He imagined him going to the doctor, and what to imagine? The doctor about to chop his fingers off. So he didn't. And he says, Jordy, you lunkhead, you about to lose some fingers? No. After that, he started drinking, but somehow he started turning green. As in like grass. Literally, grass growing everywhere. And it started getting itchier and itchier. Then he's about to take a bath until in the mirror, his father appeared. His late father. Telling him not to go in the bathtub because that's what's going to happen. Because he's asking for more liquid, as in water. Because it grows, because since it's grass, it keeps growing on, needs more water. Jordy didn't listen. He jumps in the tub, and look what happened. It's not just him he turned all green. It's the whole property turned green. Grass, weird green grass everywhere. And he looks like some kind of cousin to the Swamp Thing, literally. After he's covered in moss everywhere, all green, he grabs a shotgun and shots his head right there. While the whole place is coming green. The next story we heard is a classic tale I like to call The Crate, which involves one of the most iconic animatronics ever. You have a professor who was going to a party with his loudmouth wife. Yes. Loud as she can be. Drinking all the time. Oh boy, what a headache. He managed to receive a strange crate from a late professor back in the early... I don't know when, because they found the crate hidden inside that has been hidden for a long time. The professor named Billy, getting tired of hearing his wife, so when he received a phone call from the university, well, that was his break. He went to the university, got a call from the janitor because they found something that he wants to check out. So he left. With Wilma, his bad-mouthed wife, getting drunk. Oh boy. After that, let's see. Sorry, I had to keep checking. 1839, okay. Turned out they found an old crate that belonged to a professor that was delivered in the year 1839. Holy shit. About 146 years ago. Fuck. After that, he tried to find a crowbar, which, oh boy, did it came with a surprise. The giant tried to put his hand in it, and guess what came out? Peekaboo! A monster! Which, oh boy, this is from Antarctica, which, what the fuck you found in the Arctic? That was over from 146 years ago. But yeah, we continue this, and that's when things get stranger. He spots the monster grabbing the janitor, and oh boy, he's the whole janitor. Freaking out, runs out to the hallway. A student stops him, telling him what's going on. When he took the students about that, hello, another snack for the monster. And then when he back with imagining his wife back in the party, which he managed to pull out the gun and shot her, everybody applauding her. In reality, she started berating him, which literally berating, like, nah. After that, he went back to the university. She followed, which he followed until he noticed the crate's empty. His wife snuck behind him. He tackled her, which he followed with some drugs, pushed him to the ground, and guess who popped out? The monster, which took one hell of a bite of her face, literally, and ate her. Which the professor, Billy, gave him the nickname, Fluffy. Some name. If Herman Monster named his pet dragon Spot, why not Fluffy? But he knew this monster was dangerous, so guess what he did? He knocked it through the ocean, and somehow still survived. And that's it. And the next story was, boy. If you wonder what I'm checking, I have to use a reference from a comic book I found based on the Creepshow series, which, hey, it's worth it. The next story is Something to Tide You Over, which involves a guy trying to murder another guy because he was having an affair with his wife. Yeah, and guess what he did? Forced him to dig his own grave, jumped in it, covered in sand around his neck, and wait for the tide to come in to drown him. He's not alone. Oh no. The other guy, the douchebag, Richard, managed to do the same to his wife. So he brought TV so they have both of them watch each other drown to death. As the tide goes closer, they both drown. Later in the night, Richard is about to take a shower until, lo and behold, it's his wife and her lover come to get their revenge. Now, as sea monsters. And then, when he shot one of them in the forehead, this green liquid just popped out there in the middle where it shot in the head. Damn. That was pretty good. It looked like green Kool-Aid. Food coloring. But yeah. It's pretty good, the effect. He tried to escape, closed the door behind him, and peekaboo! They're right behind him. And guess what they did? The same thing that he did to them. And they returned to the ocean while he about to suffer his fate. Drowned to death. And that was it. And the final one is a question. Something to learn. They're creeping up on you, which is the final one in the story. About the guy named... Oh boy. Trying to find his name here. Okay, his name, Mr. Shit. Mr. Pratt. Who's a person who hates bugs, and he's a racist old fart. Literally. He's racist as you can be. Sorry. After that, he started having more of a bug problem, aka cockroaches. Everywhere. The more the problem, the more it gets worse. And here's the funny thing: if you've seen the movie, you know his room looks more like futuristic, like a futuristic apartment. You know, video call, everything. And oh boy, he's getting cockroaches everywhere until these cockroaches get their revenge. Oh yeah, they swarmed him over, and the next day he's like laying in his bed, and here comes the most gruesome part ever. They slowly, they start coming out of his body. I mean, literally out of his body. Like everywhere. Even popping through his chest. Like morbid. And the exterminator trying to call him Mr. Pratt. Mr. Pratt. But there's nothing left. It's now a bed full of cockroaches covering what's left of his body. And we're back to the cul-de-sac where we find two garbage men finding the comic until they notice one of the, you know what? Like in the comics, you always order things from like paper clips. You order some random thing in the comics. Yeah, looks like somebody ordered a voodoo doll. And guess what it was? The boy. During the breakfast season, he's waiting for everybody, the boy, until he feels like a stabbing pain in the chest, but no. It's just his stepson with a voodoo doll of him using a clothes that belongs to him, stabbing him in the chest, the neck, as revenge for throwing his comics. And we get to see his home montage of him doing it, and then it's over right there and becomes a comic. With the creep smiling, and then the flame goes out, which that was pretty good. Fun fact! The boy who plays the stepson is actually the son of Stephen King. Which was pretty interesting, though. And that was Creepshow, released in 1982. And to tell you the truth, it's still an icon to this day. Not to anyone who is a fan of Stephen King or George Romero. But this ain't the only film, because there was a sequel, Creepshow 2, which is pretty good, but recommending? Don't see the third. It sucks. It's garbage. You want a good third one? Go watch Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. It's a more honorable third one than the actual third one. And also, there's actually 3 seasons of Creepshow, which are going for season 4 this September. So awesome. And yeah. Tomorrow I'll be reviewing the sequel one, Creepshow 2. But till then, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell. Sorry. Like this video. And comment down the video on which it was your favorite scene of Creepshow. The series, the movie, you name it. And I'll see you next time. See ya.